You know, it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I dragged Jera. I'm not gratuitous like that. I only drag Jera and his Cowboys when there's a good reason to. And believe me, there's always a good reason to, but I don't do it gratuitously. I just wait for my reason because I know there will be a reason. Now, it's also been a minute since I updated the Micah Parsons contract situation. Believe it or not, we've got an update. Here is an update. I can't believe it. There's actually an update. Here is the update. The update is there is no update. I got nothing. In other words, still no update. Nothing has changed. No progress. Thank you, Avi. No progress has been made. It doesn't even seem like there's been any real communication or conversation. Or in other words, just Jera sitting back, doing Jera things, dumping salt on his McGriddles, leaving large percentages of himself on Bourbon Street.
20% of me has been left on Bourbon Street.
And slapping his ass while emulating riding a horse.
As he emulates riding the horse.
I mean, really, doing anything and everything which does not involve negotiating with Micah. So there may not be a contract update today, but Micah is at least talking about it because, well, frankly, Micah pretty much talks about anything that comes to mind. Let's just say that as great as he is on the field, there's not much of a filter off of it. So he's talking about it, and he's talking about it openly, calmly, but there is some frustration, understandably. But I would say this is the most direct and the most pointed that Mike has been with his criticism of both the owner and the organization. And very matter-of-fact about it. Not angry, but very a matter-of-fact about it. In fact, I'm really impressed with the way he handled it. Now, strangely enough, he made these calmly stated but pointed comments in a conversation this week with the Undertaker, of all people. That dude. I think that dude got up out of the tomb to conduct that conversation. That Undertaker, the WWE Hall of Famer, you know, the one that comes out of his coffin in that viral meme that everybody loves. I think he popped straight up out of that coffin to talk to Micah about his contract. And it worked. Because apparently that dude not only has a coffin, he's got a podcast. Because, of course, he does. Name me one person on the planet who doesn't have a podcast at this point. So, The Undertaker invites fellow podcaster Micah Parsons onto that podcast. I don't know if it was going to be reciprocated or shared, but they sat down. And somehow that's where Micah's most honest answer yet about the contract situation comes out. Here's the clip, and I don't want to give it away ahead of time, but I have to say, I'm really impressed with the way Micah handled this.
We obviously want to get done early. We want that
Except for the
relief
hat.
off our backs, but obviously ownership is always going to make it drag out, make it more complicated than it has to be. Lack of communication in that standpoint. But, you know, I just always say, God has me this far. He ain't done with me yet. So, you know, I just keep working, keep going. And then when it come, I'm going to be ready. But, you know, it ain't going to be no drop-off.
It seems like to me, like they would want to get it done because there's a few other contracts out there that are going to probably say what you're going to end up getting paid.
I would never understand it. We wanted to do the contract last year. They're just kind of like, we want to do Dak and CD, and then you go out there, perform again, and then, you know, you would think like, all right, we'll get it done early. We know there's some guys that's about to get ready to get repaid, like Miles, you know, Max is going. So you would think like, hey, let's get ahead of that, you know what I mean? I just never understand, you know, when guys come into the league and they're consistent and they, you know, they perform well, why they got such an urge, but then there's guys that just have one good year or maybe 2 good years, and it's just like they get it right away. And now, even now, you got TJ and Max and all these other guys that's getting paid, and you can't want us to take less because you just decided to wait.
So good. You can't want us to take less because you waited us out. This guy's so great. You know what's great about that? And I'll tell you why I love that vibe. One, he's delivering all of that under that ridiculous hat. Two, if you're watching on the stream. Two, it's one thing for any of us any of us talking heads who have nothing vested. But that guy's got everything vested. And he's just making points, man. He's just dropping logic and knowledge. I love the vibe right there. Like, I would say that's liquid magma, but it's not. It's just common sense. There's nothing that he said that is not 100% accurate. There's nothing that he said that wasn't completely logical. And it's not original, but it's coming from the guy that we're talking about and the contract. He's so right. I mean, and not only that, but I love the vibe. Completely chilled. No edginess, no whininess, no tantrums, no tirade, no threats, no drama, no I'm not coming in, no I'm not doing the work. Just very calmly like, it's good, man. I mean, it's not great, but it's good. I'm good. I know I'm going to get mine. I know I'm going to get mine, and the longer they wait, the bigger the number is going to be, so I'm fine. I actually tried to help the old man last year by doing it early. And then I wanted to get it done before Myles Garrett got his. And then all the other guys who were in line, TJ and Max, and all the other guys who were going to get paid. But nope, Jared didn't want to do it that way because you can never tell Jared what to do. Now, I'm not going to give him a hometown discount, but you kind of do get one if you get out in front of it. Like, I don't know, Jera, you don't want to do anything like Howie Roseman does. You know, that perfectly run franchise in that same division that won it all. So you've got Micah trying to help Jera, but Jera's not asking for any help. So Micah's like, fine. You know what I'll do? I'll just go out there and have another kick-ass year and then just push the price even higher. I love the way he handled that. I think the way he just sat there and calmly laid it out. And it's easy to be calm when it's you or me and it's not our money, but it is his money. That might be, I'm so impressed, that might be the best conversation that I've seen Micah have since, well, the one he had with me.
Yeah.
Yo, easy, Tiger.
This is the spicy challenge, not the sissy challenge.
This is, yeah, something like that. I need to see the gift card before I eat the slice.
You don't gotta see the gift card. It's too late.
No,
How much time we have left? We have to.
Oh, we're already
focus on the
5 minutes
pizza.
over. I'm not doing it until I see the money on the table.
Can we get a gift card on the table?
I need to see the money on the table before I do this.
Hold on, I got something better.
How big of a chump would I be if I try to put that down without seeing the money on the table?
$20 right now.
That ain't enough, dude. That ain't enough. How about you put that watch on the table? Come on, man. What are we talking about here?
Yo, can we just eat the pizza? This is for you, bro.
Send it, dude. This is the greatest pitch ever. This is for you, bro.
You dropped a whole pepper. You need a new one.
Micah, slow down, bro. Salty, kind of hot. Yeah, I don't know that I need to finish that, actually.
He don't even get the money.
Yeah, but I got a show to do, man. I got my dignity, though. I got my pride. You can't put a price on my pride and dignity. Hold up, man.
Oh.
Not bad.
Now that's an exchange right there. That ages well. You know what I'm really proud of? That I continued to smash that pie without getting any on my fine David August threads. Anyway, back to the sissy challenge. You know what you should really call the sissy challenge, Micah? Anytime anyone needs a new contract in Dallas, that's the Jera sissy challenge. So I'm really impressed with Micah. I'm more impressed with me than him in that exchange, but I'm extremely impressed with him with The Undertaker and the way he handled that. Just casually and a matter-of-factly crapping all over Jera. Not only because he's exactly right, but also because it happened on The Undertaker's podcast. And by the way, is it just me or does The Undertaker seem to have a better grasp on the art of NFL negotiation than Jerry Jones himself, the ultimate deal maker? Does The Undertaker want a job in the Dallas front office because they may be in need of both his expertise and clearly that open line of communication with Micah? You see, Jera? if it were anybody else, any other owner, any other executive, this would be the part of the take where I would wonder out loud, the hell are you doing? The hell are you thinking? But I never do that because I already know what you're doing and what you're thinking, Jera. SOP, Standard Operating Procedure. Drag your feet on a new contract. Make it cost yourself so much more money. And then make that make sense. And you get burned for it every time. But, you can always fall back on, nobody's telling me how to do my job. Nobody's telling me how to run my business. Nobody, what, I don't know. I've got the most valued franchise in all of sports. I don't know what I'm doing. Fair. But you know what? It'd be worth even more if you didn't wait until the last second and have to overpay all these guys. It's the Cowboy MO. And the incredible thing is, you want to talk about a guy digging in. The more they get burned, the more determined they are to drag their feet until the very next contract, until the very last second. My man, you might be doing it your way. And maybe it is a cardinal sin to tell another person how to spend their money. But I know this. Doing it your way has not even gotten you to Championship Sunday in 3 decades. Never mind Super Bowl Sunday. I'm telling you. Do I tell the other part of the story right now, or do I save it and come back? What the hell? It's too good, right? So remember when I came in on Monday and I said I've been gone for 2 weeks, so I could go back and talk about anything that happened 2 weeks ago, but I'm not going to do that. I could, but I want to just pick up and stay topical. However, there is something that did happen that I want to go back to. Now, this is something, and it came up while I was at the lake. Remember that fateful first-round pick back in 2014 that the Joneses can't stop talking about for some reason? You remember. Now, again, I was not around last week, but I'm glad that it applies to what I'm talking about right here because Jera's heir apparent, his son Steva, made an appearance at the Sports Business Journal event last week. He once again told the famous story about how his old man was just dead set on selecting Johnny Football in the first round of the 2014 draft. However, now we know that story, famous story. However, I've never heard Steva lay it out and tell the story quite like this.
Well, sure enough, Johnny Manziel falls to us. And boy, we get to go on, well, let's talk about Johnny. Here he is. We got our guy. This is the future. And of course, everybody in the room, I look around, I go, it's time for everybody to talk. And I look, and everybody's. I go, what? I go, Jason?
Nobody wanted to say that.
Larry Lacewell, even Larry, who talks all the time, straight down at the floor. And I go, Dad, this is a hard thing because everybody knows you want Johnny, but I go, as you heard some of the things, I don't think he's the right guy for us. And so roll the clock forward, we end up picking Zach Martin. And boy, it is tense. Usually after every pick, we all know we're clapping, high-fiving. Boy, isn't that a great pick. Boy, after we pick Zach Martin, an offensive guard from Notre Dame, Jerry looks over at me, slaps me on the leg, and he goes, son, I didn't get to buy the Dallas Cowboys. We're not sitting here because you do down the middle of the road things. He goes, what you just did is down the middle. You'll never be great, huh?
I mean, that is an incredible soundbite. That really is. Love that. But that's Jarrett in a nutshell, right? Not only did they manage to face the boss, well, Steva did, and tell him, man, that is a terrible idea. That is a terrible idea. He stood up to his old man, told him that they avoided a total disaster for the franchise at the most important position in the sport. Not only did Steva have the sack to do that, but then they used that pick instead, and they made one of the greatest draft picks in NFL history. And that right there is no exaggeration. If taking Zach Martin at 16 overall is, quote, playing it right down the middle, then playing it right down the middle is not a bad thing. It's actually the best thing. Then the Cowboys should have been playing everything down the middle the entire time because then they'd have a freaking super team. They passed on idiot face. They take a guy who was an all-pro 9 out of 11 seasons and is going to waltz right into Canton and pick up a gold jacket the very first second that he's eligible for it. And for that, what does Steve get? Slapped on the leg and told by his old man, you will never be great. You know what? You think I got the Dallas Cowboys by playing it right down the middle? You think we'd even be right here? You think you'd even be alive if I played it right down the middle? You know what's rich? It is so rich for that rich old man to be telling the kid he'll never be great playing it down the middle, since that's all Jared does when it comes to hiring head coaches. He plays it right down the middle. Safe, bland choices that inspire nobody. Hypocrite? If anything, that little convo on draft day should have gone the exact opposite way. It should have been Steve-a slapping the old man on the leg, looking him in the eye, and telling him, hey, old man, you're never gonna win anything because you're kooky as hell and you fall for all the flashy bullcrap like Johnny Manziel. That's why. That's why we're never gonna win anything ever again. Got it? And by the way, credit where credit's due. Credit to Steve-a for standing up and telling his old man not what he wanted to hear, but what he needed to hear, because clearly nobody else in that room was going to do it. Like everybody else was thinking, better to go along with that crazy old man and what he thinks and watch him take his team right down the crapper and keep our paycheck. Violence! Then tell this guy what you know is best, because they're all football guys in the room. Tell him what you know is best for the team and risk being shown the door for saying so. How about them Cowboys? That's an amazing story. Now, why Steve is telling that story and making his old man look even worse, I have no idea. But I'm glad he did. If I could see Jared's face right now, I know he's pissed. Not because of the Micah contract situation. We're talking about that. He loves that. You know what he's upset about? He's upset that some tech company named Astronomer, here you go, clones, feeding you what you want, beating you to the punch. Jared's upset that some tech company named Astronomer is getting all of his run today and not the Cowboys. Jared is upset that Astronomer and Coldplay and Adulterer is trending and not the Cowboys. If you've been living under a rock for the past 24 hours, and clones, you're welcome. I'm giving you exactly what you want because I know you don't give a damn about anything in sports and you only care about this. If you've been under that proverbial rock for the past 24 hours, of course, this is the video I am referring to.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
Damn, Martin. Uh-oh. Did you hear that guy? So incredible. So
look at these two.
Pop Crave, look at these two.
Oh, look at these two.
I mean, he called him out straight up. So Coldplay's, this is Pop Crave posting, quote, Coldplay's Chris Martin accidentally exposes Astronomer CEO Andy Byron having an affair with his HR chief, Kristen Cabot.
Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
Either they're having an affair or you probably could have just stopped on it. They're having an affair. You know, Jared's like, hey, Steven, why couldn't you be at that concert? Flirting with your mistress. Our HR chief of staff. That's not playing it down the middle. Way to go, Chris Martin. Way to wreck some marriages. Chris Martin or Chris Narkin.
Either they're having an affair.
Snitch Martin. Viva la hanky panky. Hey, and by the way, Astronomer CEO, way to play it cool, dude. Let me just drop off off camera, off the screen, like it never even happened. Very slick, Andy. And no worries, bro. It's not like anybody's going to notice. It's not like anybody's going to know, you sly fox. Hey, I'm not here to judge, but like if you're going to carry on like that with, by the way, your head of HR, is there not a company policy about dating? I guess not. I don't know. Maybe you don't show up at a giant concert. Maybe keep it on the low.
Oh, look at these two.
Oh, look at these two. Must be having an affair. Right, Narkin. Nailed it. All right, clones, we good? Covered that for you.